Greetings all, Shane Bruce, Rest of Mod Daisy. This is a continuation of yesterday's video when we tapered this Model 25 compression cup so that it would properly fit into our Model 94 Red Ryder. So now we're going to find out, will it fit the gun? So let's flip over to the bench. We've got the Model 94 in question in place, so we're going to slip it in. We're going to push it forward. We're going to take our little mounting stick and we're going to see if that rascal will actually get in there. Come on, puppy. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to show you something. All right, let's roll back over here real quick. Anytime you're dealing with a plunger assembly, it's a good idea to fabricate a guide install, because this has actually got to get all the way down into the compression chamber, and the air tube has got to clear the abutment washer. So this long piece of steel is going to help me do that. So we take our now properly equipped plunger assembly with the guide rod and we slide it in. Now we're going to push her on down, make sure that the sear plate is standing straight where it should be. And now we're going to see if we can just work this puppy. Yeah, there we go. Now, seat it. Let me back in there and take a look real quick, make sure it's up down. It is. Then we pull this out. Now we've got our plunger assembly seated. So the next step in the process is to mount some hardware to hold it in place. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is drop the trigger in. That's a pretty simple process. Just take your trigger and drop it in like so. You've got to clear the staple that holds the Latigo length in place. And then from the back of the unit, you can just eyeball it, make sure the bolt mates up. Since we're not going to do a complete install, we're just going to get it in there good enough to find out if the plunger works, because we know from previous experience that it wasn't working. So the next thing we got to do, oh, I got ahead of myself. Okay. All right, brief pause of incorrect process, incorrect procedure. Next thing we got to do, since now our plunger assembly fits into the compression chamber, that was the objective. Next thing we got to do is get our spring anchor mounted. That's a fiddly bit, but we're going to see if we get a little bit better results. Oh yeah, that feels much better. All right, so now we compress the mainspring with our mainspring compression tool, and we install our spring anchor. Now once you got it installed, you take a peek in from this side, and you should be able to see the top of the spring anchor pipping up just above the through bolt. It's in there, I see it. All right, now we install the trigger. You take the trigger and you drop it in like so, and you have to clear the stirrup. This is the little staple that holds the Latigo loop in place. So you drop it in like so, push it forward, and then thread your bolt across. Another curious thing about daisies is the screws always go in through the side with the Latigo link. So if you're ever questioning about what side you put your bolts through, always through the side that has the Latigo link, or the left-hand side. Now the next step is to install the lever, because you can't check function on the spring and piston without the lever. That's what actually arms the gun. So same thing, goes in through the left side or the Latigo loop side. Run her down. Ain't got to be super tight on the install, because what we're going to do is leave it in the vise to do the test to see if the trigger engages and if the spring actually does shoot. So we got that in, and we've got tension. So we're going to pull our guide out of the way because we don't want to shoot that into the wall over there. Now, we don't have the buttstock on, so we're going to manually push the trigger forward to do the test. All right, so arm the spring, pull it all the way back. You'll notice the trigger starts bumping to the rear. It'll get to a point where the sear engages. All right, and bring the lever down, and let's see if it goes poot. All right.
Huzzah!
Huzzah. That means that our shaving operation on the compression cup was successful. Now we have a healthy, sound compression. And I've got a feeling the gun will shoot very well indeed. I'll do it one more time just because it was fun. So push the lever forward, push the trigger forward. When the trigger starts going to the rear, that tells you that the sear is about to engage. The sear is now engaged. Bring the lever down in. Oh man, that's so cool. That's it for today's video. This is Shane Bruce, Rest of My Daisy, signing off.